Welcome back to the This Day podcast, where we connect real life, real people, and real stories. Tune in to a brand new episode happening right now. Make sure you click the links in our descriptions to find out more about our sponsors and resources where you can dive in deeper to your faith journey. And now, dive in to today's episode. Hi, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the This Day podcast. We have one of our friends, Dwell Apparel, as our podcast sponsor and partner. We love Dwell. They are a faith-based clothing company, and you can get everything from a t-shirt themed to your favorite holiday with a fun scripture to a tumbler to stickers to sweatshirts, literally everything you could imagine. They are incredible. My cousin got all of these fun shirts for her summer VBS. It's amazing. You need to check out Dwell today. You can click the link in the show description or use code MEGFEVERYEAR for 15% off your first order from Dwell. Tim, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast today. I'm so thankful to have this conversation with you and to have you on here.
Let's go. We live close to each other, so we should just be yelling is what we should be
I
doing.
know.
Yeah.
We should just be yelling. It's so crazy. Now, for people that maybe knew friends of you, new friends of your story, why don't you share a little bit about who you are for people to get to know you?
Yeah. I am 23 years old. Not entirely true. Um, See, I've been married for 28 years. I've got four teenage kids, who are awesome. Trying to figure out how to be a dad and a husband and all that stuff's like the best and hardest thing I do.
Yeah.
Um, I get to write songs, and I would prefer to call them prayers, that people, I guess, get to pray all over the world with me, which is pretty amazing. Um, I've
Yeah.
got three jobs, but music is what feeds my family,
Yeah.
and I love what I get to do. So I also, I think what I care most about is,
Yeah.
yeah, if I can be a part of helping Jesus people look more like Jesus, then I'm in.
Yeah.
That's what I get most excited about. I just think we have a lot of people, a lot of Christians, but I don't know if we have a lot of Christians that look like Jesus. We might look like our
Hmm.
religion, but I don't know about Jesus. So, in starting with me, so that's what I get most excited about, whether it's through writing a book like we just did, or having a movie about me, or um, putting out new music. That's the stuff that I care most about. Yeah, that's what gets me going.
Yeah. No, that's so good. I think what you just said there, about helping people look a little more like Jesus, that is so true.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people want to look like a lot of things. And it can be hard with everything coming at our minds each day to stay focused on the God who called us, right?
yeah,
Um, but that's so good.
yeah.
Now, your story was forefront not too long ago in the I Can Only Imagine um, 2 movie.
Yep.
So share a little bit about your story. Take us behind the scenes of maybe what people saw in the movie and what drew them to this.
Yeah. Well, they saw a really good looking guy play me in a movie, Milo Ventimiglia. And when I told my daughters, my kids, that he was playing me, they were like freaking out. I'm like, you guys, it's kind of like looking in the mirror for me. So it's hard. It's
Yeah.
just another day. It's just another Tuesday. No, once again, not true. Yeah, it's been such a fun process having that movie done. And um I mean, it's not something you wake up in the morning going, you know what, I think we should have another movie about, or we should have a movie about my life.
Yeah.
Yet I have just kind of enjoyed letting Jesus open doors. I quit
Mm.
working for God 15 years ago. So I don't work for him. I'll never work for him again. Working for God sucks. And I just decided I'm going to hang out with him. If he wants to open doors that are best for like his kingdom and for the people in the world, then he can open those doors. And if I get to be a part of that, awesome.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my posture in the midst of this, and then having a movie. It's like, okay, great. And in 2 years, when nobody cares about Tim Timmons, great. All who knows? We'll see what else Jesus is opening up at that point.
That's really cool, Tim. Now, on your website, I did a little stalking, okay?
Okay,
I did a
go
little non-creepy stalking, but just some like typical everyday, research. You have to help people walk with Jesus in the everyday moments. Talk about that as your mission. How has that become just your life's anthem?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I mentioned it a little bit before, but I'll get more into it. Like this idea about working for God is just what I've done most of my life. Like I was a pastor at some real large churches in California and worship leader guy. And man, I was awesome. Like varsity American Christian, like try to beat me that good. And at some point, my soul was exhausted. I was like, I'm so good at being a Christian. Um, man, I'm so good at this thing. Like I kind of have it down, but my soul is exhausted. I'm so tired. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always trying to do good things for God. And then at some point, I actually heard a girl say this on the internet today, the same type of thing. Um, but she was still mad about it. She's like, "Why isn't God using me when like I'm so usable? I've done all this cool stuff. I'm ready. Um I don't know. I've done all I haven't had sex with somebody, just all like the things that we
Yeah.
know how to do, right?
Yeah, she's done
Um,
checked all the boxes.
I've checked the boxes. Like, I'm ready. Like, use me in a really cool way, God. And that's kind of how I felt for so long in my life. Like, dude, let's do something cool for you. But somehow it would still be propping up my kingdom, Timmons' kingdom.
Yeah.
And I would get to have like a little palace within the kingdom of God. It was kind of like, man, I know how to do this, but it's for you,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And then I started doing word studies on the word for and with, biblical word studies, going, okay, in the Bible, when does Jesus or Paul even talk about us doing stuff for God, versus us doing stuff with him? And it was hard to find a lot of fours. And yet our whole religion is based on us doing stuff for God. Like God needs us to do XYZ. Now, not saying we don't partner with him, but it was still me doing stuff out of my own power, out of my own awesomeness. And every time in the Bible, like in when Paul's using the word do something for God, it's always in the context of witness. Like it's always in because we are so loved then. And I've started most of my life just like I'm going to do cool stuff for you. So that's why I quit working for him. And I said, I just want to join you. Like,
Yeah.
as if Jesus knows what's best for his kingdom. Like, just imagine for a second, Tim, what if Jesus knew what was best for his kingdom? And I don't have to tell him what's best for his kingdom. I just get to join him in the stuff he's doing. So if somebody is at the grocery store that needs something, man, I get to join Jesus in blessing that person with kindness or just an encouragement or whatever it might be. So that's the kind of stuff when I'm talking about like doing stuff with him that I get way more excited about doing that and helping other people join Jesus. So then I think we'll start looking like him if we join him. And man, I just say look out if that starts happening.
That's so good. That's so good, Tim. Now, okay, so let's take that person at the grocery store. For example, say they're listening to this while they're walking down that bread aisle or walking down the pasta aisle. What would you say to them and their in their search to trying to figure out and discern, do I really want to join this Jesus thing?
Yeah, gosh, if I look at a lot of Christians these days, I don't want to be a part of their club.
Yeah.
So, um, I would say I totally get it. If you have skepticism around Jesus because you're looking at his followers, starting with me. Um, and I am in no way awesome or figured anything out. I think I'm okay with some of the questions that I was not okay with early on. In Christendom, we kind of like push away from questions. You need to be fully certain about your faith. If you're not, then you're not in. And I just think Jesus is real different than the way that I kind of grew up with him. So I would say, man, what if Jesus is actually real? That's what I'd say. Like,
Yeah.
what if he's, and I'd say this to Christians even more so than if it's somebody sitting here that doesn't believe. I'd be like, totally, I get it. I'm going to say this more to Christians. What if Jesus is actually real? And not just like Christian real, but like legit actually real. And his way actually works, which is that we would be the blessers of our enemies. We would be the ones, the first ones that would respond when people are marginalized. We would be those people because we're actually his hands and feet. Yet I think Christians, what we've done is we've gone, you know what? You believe this or you believe that and you're out. You do this. Sorry, you sinned, you're out. And I just don't think Jesus is that guy. And so what I'd say to somebody who's checking Jesus out is I'm like, just check him out. Like, look and see if his way is beautiful. And then if it is, then let's start having cool conversations about the way of Jesus and the
Yeah.
heart of Jesus versus just what you have seen in my life or in other Christians' lives. Just to start out, what if Jesus is actually real? And if you think about his ways, it's pretty beautiful. So that's what I would say.
No, that's good. That's so good. Especially, when you think about the incredible ways that he knits us together in community, right? Like the people that you meet that you may not have thought you would have ever met 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
or, even 5 years ago. And they just kind of interweave into your life in intricate
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I also am kind of one of those guys who says that I just don't have it all figured out. So
yeah.
a lot of my friends have it all figured out and they understand God, I guess, and they understand the Bible and they've got theology figured out. And I just don't. And so I love being with people who are like, I don't either. And if they're new to this whole thing, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just discovering, like, I'm just really curious about Jesus, things that I just never discovered about him before. Let's do that together. Like, I'm not going to be like, here's what I will teach you. I'm in the process with people. So that's what I want to be more of that guy who's in the process instead of the guy who just knows it all.
No, that's so good. So 2 years ago, what would you tell Tim today? What would you tell the guy 2 years ago that was even maybe in a different part of being in the process?
Hmm. Uh, I would just say enjoy it. Keep enjoying it. Like,
Yeah.
I think the gift for me, so I write an X on my wrist. It's a little
Yeah.
dorky X today. But every morning I write an X on my wrist, and one of the reasons why is that I was given 5 years to live 25 years ago, incurable cancer, still tumors on my liver, wearing out my heart today. And but I got up again today. And I don't know how much has changed in 2 years, other than just keep breathing. Like you got another day. So for me, every day that I get to wake up, I just say, Jesus, thank you for another day. Write the X, which X used to stand for the Christ years ago. So it's just
Yeah.
my own little dumb little thing that I did, just as my own reminder to see this on my wrist and go, don't work for him today. Just join him. Enjoy what he's up to today. And I'd kind of say the same thing to myself. And if I was talking back to that guy, I would say just enjoy the ride. Keep enjoying the ride. It's like what I've been practicing this for the past 15 years of just today's the gift. Tomorrow, who knows? And I am growing. I'm becoming a more beautiful human. I think I'm looking more and more like Jesus, which got a long way to go, but I think he's forming me. And so I'd say, man, just stay the course. You're not awesome. You don't have to be awesome. You don't have to protect anything. You just get to love people really well. So that's probably what I would say to him. But it's been such a fun process of just enjoying every day that I wake up.
No, absolutely. Now, what keeps you present? What keeps you grounded and focused as you move along life's journey, right? Because you didn't think that you would still be here today, right? So what has kind of kept you focused and realizing, I just got to live for today,
Yeah.
and we're not promised tomorrow.
Right.
Um, so what keeps you in that focused position?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think we get really good at what we practice.
Mm.
And I I'm I try to put different practices into the rhythm of my life that help me stay sober.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean drugs and alcohol. I mean sober in life, like with worry
Yeah.
or with greed or um with control, wanting control. Like those are things that get me drunk. I just get super, super, super drunk when I start to worry. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm not talking alcohol, drugs. I'm talking about in
Yeah.
life, in like
Yeah.
things. Like I just get hammered. Like something happens and all of a sudden I take a shot of worry,
Yeah.
or I see something I want, or I don't get what I want, and I take a shot of envy. I take a shot of all these different things that just get me so drunk so quick. So I think I practice worry, and Jesus is inviting us to practice trust. I practice uh, damning my enemies. I practice cursing them. I mean, I'm so good at it. Online, if you say something stupid and I'm like, oh my gosh, I so disagree with that politician or how we just came across that.
Yeah.
I practice contempt. Like I literally go, that guy's an idiot. I'm better than that guy. That's what I say. And that's not the way of the kingdom of God. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put more practices of the way of the kingdom in my life that when I see that person and I want to say I'm so much better than them, what I get to say is, man, what's the log in my own eye here? And
Yeah.
how do I pray blessing for that person today and their family and their kids and their dog? How do I pray wholeness for them and fullness for them instead of damning them? Like that's the stuff that we have to either practice or we're just naturally going to go the other way. So that's the stuff in me that I think is some of the stuff that's really changing, continuing to change me. And yeah, hopefully make me more beautiful.
Absolutely. No, that's good. And I think social media has played a huge part, right? Like we'll wake up and we'll see our phones and we'll compare our lives to the
Yeah.
people that are just showing their highlight reel. But immediately it can ignite those feelings of worry, anxiety,
Yeah.
envy, especially because you're seeing the person's best moment online when really they're probably
Yep.
struggling with the same thing that you're struggling with, maybe on a smaller or
Yep.
larger scale.
Yeah. I'll also just, I mean, allude to the title of your podcast this day, like
Yeah.
the idea that today is the only thing we need to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, we can plan, we planned this podcast a while back. Great.
Yeah.
But today is a thing that is here. Like this is all we know.
Yeah.
In this moment is all we really know. And so there's something really sobering about just going, well, this is the day, God, that you've made, and I will rejoice. I will find joy in you today, period. That's profound and a gift. So, anyways, props on your name.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It was actually taken from that verse
Yeah.
specifically. Really during a season where I was just kind of thinking, I'm like, I have no idea what direction life is going to take right now. But I have this moment, I have today, and I got to stick in this lane because if I don't, I am going to be filling my life with every anxious
Yeah.
thought possible. And
I love
that's
that, Megan.
that's what that's the lane we rode and
That's
that's the direction we took.
so good. Even that psalm that it's taken from, I
Yeah.
used to think I have a song called This Is the Day.
Yeah.
And there used to be like an old kid song, This is the day that
Yeah.
the Lord has made. And I was like, oh, this song should be sung when everything's awesome. But then I went back in COVID and I read that psalm. And the psalmist is like, in the beginning of that psalm, it's like, life sucks. I'm about to die. Like, this is so hard. What do I do? And then it keeps going. It's just like miserable, misery, misery. And then it finally gets to this place. This is a day, I guess, that you've made, and I will rejoice in you today. And then it's like this crazy it's sandwich of like anguish and pain. But God, this is the day that you've made. I will join you in it. Like it's so beautiful. So I love that, Megan. Keep being awesome.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Well, you are such an amazing person. You have an amazing story. How can people find out more about your story?
Yeah. God, I mean, I don't know. I wrote a book. My wife and I wrote a book, and it's called Waking Up Again. And I didn't need like another autobiography about me. Like, who cares? I don't care about me that much. But the whole point of the book were a bunch of like funny stories and powerful stories and emotional stories that then bring the reader into how do we wake up more intentionally every day and join
Yeah.
Jesus in our day. Like, so I'm always just trying to put out things that um, help people wake up more intentionally because that's one of the gifts that I get to
Yeah.
bring to the world is waking up, being the person who's practicing waking up more intentionally. So you can get my book anywhere they're sold. It's called Waking Up Again, and my babe, radical wife, wrote it with me, who's the coolest, who's also in the movie. I Can Only Imagine Two. So if you want to see some of our journey, you can go watch the movie I Can Only Imagine Two. Um, I've got music coming out. I've got a new song coming out next week, I think, that I'm really excited about, and a ton of new stuff coming out like that. And then I've got a podcast called 10,000 Minutes, 1000 minutes. There are 10,080 minutes in a week. You're welcome, everybody. 10,080 minutes in a week, but 80 of those minutes we spend in some kind of church gathering, which is awesome if you do that kind of thing.
Cool.
But there are 10,000 other minutes until we gather again. And I'm awesome in those 80 minutes. But how do we join Jesus in the 10,000 minutes? That's really what I'm trying to figure out how to do that well and invite
Yeah.
Jesus people to be more intentional. So, yeah, there's so many ways. Find me on Instagram. I'm always saying something stupid or funny or hopefully encouraging on there. So, all those things.
I love it, Tim. Okay, now one thing before I'll let you go. What
Yeah.
is the one story that people can anticipate reading in your book that has been your favorite?
Ooh, my favorite?
Well, it doesn't have to be a favorite. Maybe it's your least favorite. Maybe it's in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. So many. Gosh, that's like saying which is your favorite kid?
Okay,
I mean, I've
top
got a
five.
lot of
Can
kids.
it sit in the top
Right,
five?
right, right. I mean, there's so many stories in there that are funny and making fun of myself and
Yeah.
which I love and I'm all in for. This one I think is really powerful. It's a section where we're talking about enemy love.
Mm.
And I was in Israel with one of my heroes and friends, Bob Goff, who wrote a book called Love Does, and he's just the coolest. And we're in Israel together, and we're in like at Caiaphas's house. So it's like where Jesus did most of his miracles in Galilee. It's so
Yeah.
cool. Like you're like, this is the place. And so they have this old broken down synagogue,
Yeah.
and I'm in this spot, and I had just said to the whole group, and as we're praying, I'm saying, Jesus, and I just sung, and I said, Jesus, thank you for being so beautiful. Like you're the one inviting us to bless our enemies. Like we don't get to do that in this space, Jesus. You're beautiful. It's just something like that.
Yeah.
And I, you know, put my guitar down. All of a sudden, I look over to the entrance of the synagogue. By the way, we're in the middle of nowhere. And there's just one dude that is in our Christian music you kind of world that man I have a really hard time with, like really hard time with. I don't
Yeah.
have many enemies in life, but this guy, the way that he portrays Jesus, and it just I'm if you want to get me going we could just have this conversation, but it's not helpful. And so I've had to practice many times just saying, Jesus, I'm not better than him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pray blessing on this guy. That's my role is. I don't get to damn him. And anyways, this guy walks in out of nowhere. Like he's not with our group, nothing. And I'm sitting there going, okay, Jesus, I just thanked you for being the kind of God that would invite us to bless their enemies. And so I was sitting there going, all right, Jesus, you're beautiful. I give up. I'm not that awesome and I don't get to do that. And as Bob and I were leaving, and I didn't talk to him, I'd met him once at this songwriting thing years ago, and he
Yeah.
was real lame at it. And I was like, what? It's fine. I just get to pray blessing. As Bob and I are leaving this random little road, he walks right up with his wife and like kids or something. And we're like walking side by side. And I go, hey, man, we met years ago at this thing, and, just want to say hi. And man, then he just went into all the things he's doing, and I mean, it's just like so douchey what he went into. It's just like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you're not helping your cause right now. But man, did I have to struggle with blessing my enemy, being the
Yeah.
guy to first go, I got a lot of crap myself. Like, there's plenty of stuff that people could go, Tim, I don't love this about how you did this, XYZ. And I get to pray blessings. So I just sat there and I got to walk alongside, ask questions, see how he's doing, how his family's doing. And it was such a good gift to my soul to intentionally have to wake up in the morning and say, Jesus, um, who are the enemies in my day today, and how do I get to bless them? Like, I don't get to curse them, I get to bless them. So just stories like that that invite us into saying, okay, so who's in your life? Who do you see on the internet every day that instead of going, what an idiot, we get to say, all right, I'm going to start every time that person comes up, I'm going to start praying blessing for them. Blessing is not finance. Blessing is like wholeness and fullness.
Yeah.
So, anyways, there are a ton of stories like that. They're like funny or hard, but that are inviting the reader into joining Jesus, really.
That's really good. That's so good, Tim. And what a fun, well, one story to be in Israel. Like, what a great place.
Indeed.
And of all the places, to be,
Yeah.
truthfully,
Yeah.
what a great experience. But thank you for hanging out today and for spending a few minutes of your day just sharing who you are, your story, and what you're about. I'm so grateful.
Of course. Of course. Well, I can't wait to see you around Brentwood, Franklin sometime.
Absolutely. I'm so honored that you spent your time. So thank you.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Hey, friends, thanks so much for tuning into the podcast today. Have you checked out the ministry resources that we have available just for you? We have devotionals available to help you deepen your faith journey. We have a Christmas devotional, Rumors of a Savior. It is never too late for Christmas, so I highly recommend that one. Or we have our Reclaiming Boldness devotional, which is 60 days just to reclaim the boldness that God put in your bones. So jump on in, check out those devotionals. They're available on Amazon, or you can shoot us a message over at thisdayministry.org and get your copy of the devotional today. Click the link in our show description to find out more. We love each and every guest that we get to have on the podcast. Be sure to stay connected with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at This Day Ministry. We would love to connect with you, pray for you, and just know what's going on in your story.